Time in our lives when we have to answer one simple, very challenging question. And that question is, who am I? If we're not careful, the world will attempt to answer this question for us, oftentimes giving us the wrong answers. Until we are able to answer this question for ourselves, we will continue to accept the answers in which the world gives us. That's right. There are many voices we hear throughout our lives. And it appears that the voices in this world that tells us that we're not good enough and other negative things that leaves us wounded are louder than the voices that tells us that we are good enough. In my 29 years of life, I've learned all too well that this world can be cruel. That there are many stories within it that are competing to define who we are. That's right. And in this world of competing stories, it's easy to lose ourselves and experience without experience, which is an identity crisis. Attempting to define myself in that which I was good at. Maybe I'm the only person in here who experienced this. As an athlete, I often turn on the television and see professional athletes being idolized, and glorified, and praised. I thought that this is what I wanted. If people were not praising me, then I wasn't doing something right. If people were not glorifying me or affirming me, then I'm nothing. In the movie, When the Game Stands Tall, the head coach of the featured high school football team says this. He says, "Don't let the sport you play define who you are." And we can also add, don't let how much money you make define who you are. Don't let the car you drive define who you are. Yes. Don't let other people's opinion of you define who you are. Yes. Don't let your current circumstances define who you are. Right. But rather, let the way you live your life be that. A life in total surrender to the Lordship of Christ. Yeah. In whom we find our true identity. Yeah. What defines you? Over the years, I've searched and had to discover for myself exactly who I am. And as I've found where my true identity lies, my hope is to help other people do the same. My hope is to speak life into you, to be that voice that tells you that you have what it takes in a world that tells you you don't. To be that voice that tells you that you can reach your dreams in a world that tells you you won't. I grew up in a culture where it was more likely for me to go to jail than to go to college. Heartbreaking, I know. But life will often break our hearts. The poet Shane Poison said that when life breaks your heart, make art with the pieces. Each and every one of us have the ability to make something beautiful out of the broken pieces. But we must figure out for ourselves what type of art we will create with those pieces. Are you able to answer this question for yourself? Who am I? My senior year in high school, I was asked by my guidance counselor, what would you like to be when you grow up? I thought to myself, first of all, I'm grown. Then I responded, I want to be a professional athlete. But if that doesn't work out, I want to be a doctor. And after she discouraged me from being a doctor and encouraged me to choose a different path, my friend laughed and said, "You're living in a fairy tale." He said this as if people from Detroit can't become doctors. As if Dr. Ben Carson, who was one of the greatest surgeons on the planet, didn't walk these same Detroit streets. Or product of the same Detroit public school system. You see, I was asked what I wanted to be, told what I couldn't become, and told what I should be, making me feel lesser than I am. But I am more. Where I'm from, I was told that I would never be more than a statistic, a thug, strung out on drugs, a dealer, dead or locked up in prison. Well, the fact that I hate math made me more driven. To add who God created me to be, to subtract who the culture says that I am, equaling a confusing equation. Craving the answers to one of life's most challenging questions. Who am I? We live in a world with competing stories. And from the time of my youth, it has been putting the dreamer to bed like a story read to a child. Then the dreamer of me awakes in a confused state because these stories are playing tug of war with my heart. Who am I? I was told that because I was fast, I was an athlete. I was told that because of my looks, I was ugly. I was told that because of an absent father, that absent I would be. I was told that because I grew up in it, that I will always live in poverty. And because it was so normal for us all, I was told that the inner city of Detroit is all there is and all there would ever be. I was told that I was stupid, young and clueless, wounded from the stories I was told, paralyzed by the world's control. I believed in the stories I was told. Most of the stories I was told were lies. My true self was veiled by the world's standards, by the American dream we are fed to digest like our daily bread. I am not what they want me to be. I am not who they told me I was. Who am I? I am smart, I am brilliant, creative and resilient. I am a husband, a father, I am a man. And like the little engine that could, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I was created in the image of the Creator. I am more. I am more than the American dream. I am more than the world's standards. I was created with divine intentions, a great invention to solve the world's problems. Listen, we are powerful beyond measure, and no weapon formed against us shall prosper. We are more than conquerors through Christ who loves us. And our worth is not in this world, but in Him who created this world. I repeat, our worth is not in this world, but in Him who created this world. You are beautiful. Your beauty the world ignores. Your beauty God adores. Because I am, you are, we are more. Thank you. Amen. Let's give him another.